If the denture were to be put under a microscope, we can see all the bacteria that still exist. Holland's unique microclean formula works in just 3 minutes, killing 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria. For a cleaner, fresher, brighter denture every day.
Hello guys, I'm here for my review of the 1998 Starrcade. Only 2 more to go, and oh my do I not look forward to watching them, but I will, because I want to get in this series. And those are of course 99 and 2000. But anyway, Starrcade 98 aired on December the 27th, 1998 from the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. 9 matches on this card, and for the most part this is not a bad show, and you know, I'll get to it. We open up with a triangle match, or a triple threat match for people, for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Kidman versus Juventud, Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Good opener here. Really enjoyed this match. It's one of the highlights of this show. 3.5 stars. Kidman wins. And then Eddie Guerrero comes out, cuts this promo on both how Juventud and Rey are both losers, and that he knows he could beat Kidman for the Cruiserweight title. Challenges Kidman. Kidman comes out and tells Eddie, well, you're here, I'm here, let's have a match. Eddie wants to go get his gear on and all that, but Kidman says, well, if you're in got a man, he wants you to do it now. So, Eddie obliges, and that leads into our second Cruiserweight Championship match, which is Kidman versus Eddie Guerrero. Another good match, not as good as the opener, but a 2.5 star match. Juventud and Rey are still out there, so that's an added dynamic to this match. 2.5 star match, as I said, not bad. Kidman wins the shooting star press. So we're off to a good start, but this was WCW right near where they started to get bad. In fact, they went downhill the very next week, and I'll explain that. Our next match is Norman Smiley versus Prince Iaukea. 1-star match. Honestly, it's good to see Norman Smiley before he was screaming Norman Smiley, because while this match is not good and rather boring, it shows how technically sound Norman Smiley was. Before he became screaming Norman Smiley, the joke hardcore guy. 1 star, Norman wins with a crossface chicken wing. So then you have the Cat Ernest Miller versus Perry Saturn. No stars. The worst match on this show. And that's not a knack on Saturn, it's just who's going to get a good match out of the Cat. Out of every match the Cat had, none of them were that great. None of them were that great. And it's because he never really adapted from karate to pro wrestling. In terms of trying to change his move style, he always relied on more of the karate stuff and all that. And he never really adapted, so it was kind of hard for him to have a actually have a good match because of that. Saturn wins after Cat and Sonny yelling off the heel miscommunication. Saturn is the Death Valley driver for the 1, 2, 3. So our next match is a tag team match. Brian Adams and Scott Norton of the NWO Hollywood taking on Fit Finlay and Jerry Flynn. This is a random tag match, I'll say that. It's a traditional tag match. It's 1.5 stars and Norton Adams win. Okay, that's all well and good. Like I said, 1.5 stars. So you had 2 really good matches. You follow it up with a okay match, and then just this match. You know, you start with 2 really good matches. You have a decent match, a not very good match, and a so-so match. But this show picks back up with the next match. Konnan versus Chris Jericho for the WCW World Television Championship. Better than it probably had any right to be. 2.5 star, a 2-star match. 2-star match. Konnan wins with the Tequila Sunrise. After he cut one of his promos that, quite frankly, does anyone even understand what he ever said in them? But it was over. I gotta admit that. It was over with the crowd when he said it. Konnan wins at the Kilo Sunrise. I think this is the last WCW Television Championship match ever on pay-per-view or anywhere, because they ended up defunking the title sometime in '99, and the only reason Jim Duggan got it was he found it in the trash can. So I think this is the last WCW Television Championship match that I know of. There might have been one or two in '99, but I don't think there were. So, sad. That was a once great championship. And WCW just didn't care about it anymore. Sad, but eh. So, then we go back down a level. As our next match is Eric Bischoff versus Ric Flair. A storyline that actually had a lot of real-life elements in it, because Ric Flair legitimately at this time despised Eric Bischoff. Because Flair had asked for some time off to go to a wrestling tournament with his son Reed. And he had told WWE months in advance he wanted this. He agreed to do like a Nitro, and then they would write him off for this. But Bischoff told him when he was like on the plane or getting ready to go to where this wrestling tournament was, that he had to be at Thunder that day, and he was like in the air or something. So Flair no-showed. This led Eric Bischoff to fire Ric Flair. But after the man, they brought Flair back, put him in this match with Eric Bischoff. Now I must say they did a whole heart attack faking thing of Ric Flair, which is a little distasteful. But because one, it would be unbelievable for a guy to have a mild heart attack and then have a match. But anyway, given what this is a half-star match. Flair got the best he could out of Bischoff, except for one problem with this match. The problem with this match is the same problem with Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania 27. And that is this. Eric Bischoff should not have got any offense in on this match at all. This should have been a 5-minute mugging. Ric Flair should have came in, beat Bischoff to a pulp, and just put the figure 4 on and won. They gave Bischoff a little bit of offense, and then he's in the figure 4. Kurt Hennig comes in and slips Bischoff brass knuckles, and he wins the match. And Flair does blade in it as custom. So Bischoff wins. Flair should have won, and Bischoff wins. Why am I not surprised? It's the Michael Cole effect from WrestleMania 27, when Jerry Lawler should have won in a very convincing manner, only to lose by DQ, and didn't win in the feud until Over the Limit, a throwaway pay-per-view. Then we actually have a decent okay match. Diamond Dallas Page versus the Giant in the Giant/Big Show's final WCW pay-per-view match he ever had. Went out on a decent note, because this is not a bad match. It's 2.5 stars. It told a good story about how was Diamond Dallas Page going to hit the choke slam on the Giant. And after a bit, it picked up, and it started telling that story really, really good. The Giant goes to this real super choke slam, and on the way down, Page turns into the Diamond Cutter. Very good finish, and DDP gets the win. No complaint really about this. Giant was on his way out, so he didn't really need the victory at all, so give it to Page. And like I said, yeah, the match started off boring, but once we got to the story part about how DDP was going to hit the Diamond Cutter, that's where this match shines, and it is in its storytelling. So, the final match, a no disqualification match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg versus Kevin Nash. 2-star match. This is when the WCW was starting to experiment with different ways for Goldberg. And I've said that that's really where they went wrong, was to do that. Because Goldberg's biggest weakness was promo ability. And if you were to have a microphone, just have him tell his opponent, whoever it is, that they were next. That was what they were doing here. But this is not a bad match. In fact, Kevin Nash actually bumps like a champ for Goldberg. He takes more bumps than he probably ever took in his entire career in this one match. That says a lot about Kevin Nash, even though he was on the booking committee at this time. And it plays in that's why he won this match. Now, do I think because the finish hand of Scott Hall tased Goldberg, this match is overbooked. This match is overbooked with the interference of Bam Bam Bigelow and the Disco Inferno and Scott Hall for taser gun. So it's a tad bit overbooked, but if you were going to end Goldberg's streak at this time, I think it had to be in a screw job way. I disagree with who ended it, especially with what they did afterward. Because for people who may not be familiar with wrestling history, on January 4th, 1999, there was a match between Hulk Hogan. Kevin Nash was defending the WCW Championship against Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and it ended in the finger poke of doom, which gave Hogan the World Championship. Now, top of that with, that same night, in a taped Raw, WWE presented The Rock versus Mankind for the WWE at the time Championship. Tony Schiavone famously said that Mick Foley winning the WWE Championship would really put the butts in the seats. And he said it very sarcastically, probably because he had to. Turned out that when Schiavone said that, 600,000 people simultaneously clicked off Nitro, tuned into Raw, and that one moment went and changed the course of pro wrestling from WCW looking like it would still be around today to WWE ultimately winning the Monday Night War because of that one moment. That and the finger poke had a lot to do with it. Plus, because of how Nash lost the title, him beating Goldberg was utterly pointless. Rock and Mankind went on to have one of the most classic Attitude Era matches ever at the '99 Royal Rumble. The only watchable match on that Royal Rumble. So, in their classic I Quit match. But yes, a 2-star match. So, our total star rating for this is 15.5 out of a possible 45. That puts it in the D+ range. It probably would be better if you took out the Norman Smiley match, the Ernest Miller Iakea match, the Brian Adams and Finlay match. You probably would have a very solid, the Adams, Norton, Finlay, Flynn tag match. You actually would have a solid show here. You'd actually have a solid show about those matches. So those matches are what bring this show down, honestly. It's not a bad Starrcade. In fact, it outdrew Austin and Undertaker in a Buried Alive match. Nash Goldberg outdrew Austin and The Undertaker the same month at Rock Bottom in a Buried Alive match because Buried Alive matches are very similar to, they're the same thing. Every Buried Alive match is the same. So, yeah. So, Starrcade 99 is up next. I'm probably going to watch that tomorrow on WWE Network, and then I'll probably review it sometime tomorrow night or Saturday. And 99, that's the start of the downfall of WCW. It was still somewhat good, but it didn't get really bad until the David Arquette stuff, which I may never have to talk about because I doubt I'll do a Slamboree series, which would force me to talk about that. I might do a video just talking about the David Arquette thing, about how I think that overall hurt the wrestling business as a whole, because it helped contribute to WCW's ultimate demise, but I don't know yet. And also, if you're interested in watching my Power Ranger videos, I said that SPD would probably be up in December, the SPD review. Well, because of the holidays, I kind of haven't watched this 2 of SPD yet. I plan on doing that, and it'll be up hopefully by the end of this month, if not definitely up in February. So I will have the SPD review up soon. I just have to finish watching it. So, quick note about that. So if you like the video, hit the like button down there, hit the subscribe button down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.